On the broadcast tonight, deadly rampage. A gunman storms a building with dozens of people inside and opens fire, leaving a trail of death, injury, and unanswered questions. Jobs wanted. New unemployment numbers out today, the highest in decades. With so many jobs gone, where do we go from here? Allied powers, the president and first lady get a warm welcome in Europe, but who's the bigger star of this show? And picturing history, more than 40 years after Martin Luther King Jr.'s death, new images surface of a tragic night and a photographer remembers. Also tonight, the long run, one woman's way of making a difference. Nightly News begins now.
From NBC News World Headquarters in New York, this is NBC Nightly News with Brian Williams.
Good evening, I'm Ann Curry in for Brian Williams tonight, and we begin with today's dramatic events in upstate New York. A place that has for decades helped immigrants adjust to their new lives in America suddenly became the scene of a shooting rampage, with the gunman barricading himself and taking hostages and forcing the evacuation of nearby buildings, including a school. When it was all over, 14 people had died, one believed to be the shooter, and 4 people were wounded. 37 hostages got out safely. NBC's Ron Allen joins us now from the scene in Binghamton, New York. Ron?
Good evening, Ann. A number of people have said that this is probably the worst day ever in the city of some 45,000 people. We are just down the street from the American Civic Association, the scene of the crime. It is just off Main Street over there, right in the center of this community. Police have identified the gunman as a local Vietnamese man, age 42. They haven't positively identified him yet. They say he was no stranger to this cultural center. They say he killed at least a dozen people, horrifying this community. It was 10:30 this morning at the American Civic Association, which helps new immigrants with a new way of life. Suddenly, the sound of gunshots. Local police arrived and cordoned off several square blocks in the heart of the city. SWAT teams moved into position.
Stay away from this area.
A gunman had barricaded the back door of the building with a car and stormed in the front door, armed with handguns and a knife. He shot the receptionist and kept moving.
What she did is she pretended she was dead. After he shot her, she went down to the ground. He went into a room off that reception area, shot several people, and as he exited, he went down the hallway in the building. She crawled underneath the desk, and sometime after that, she called us.
Police locked down a nearby high school, evacuated nearby homes and businesses.
They basically just told us not to leave the building, to stay in the back part of the building, stay away from the windows.
The gunman held some 37 hostages, some hiding in a closet, others downstairs in the boiler room.
We were in communication with them all the time. If the point came where we thought the shooter was down there, we would have moved on him.
As the standoff dragged on, groups of hostages were released, while others were brought out on stretchers. Finally, around 3 p.m., nearly 5 hours after it had begun, police entered the building and found who they believed to be the gunman dead.
The residents of the city of Binghamton are safe, and we have no idea what the motive is.
Police are still trying to identify all of the victims. They believe the gunman took his own life and died with a bag of ammunition tied around his neck. 4 people are still in critical condition, so the death toll could very well go up. President Obama and Vice President Biden have both been in touch with this community, expressing their condolences and offering their prayers. And as you heard there, the police say they have no idea why all of this happened.
All right, NBC's Ron Allen tonight. Ron, thank you so much. Well, also on the scene tonight is NBC's Rahema Ellis, and she now joined us. Rahema, what more can you tell us about this community and how it's reacting to this sudden violence?
And I can tell you, this is a city in shock tonight, because this is a city that ranks as one of those with the lowest crime rates in the nation. So it's no wonder that people here are saying they never thought a tragedy like this would happen in this community. The place where the tragedy occurred at the American Civic Center, it's a place that provides immigration services for people who are coming here as new residents to America. It's been in operations, people tell me, since 1939. And the most recent immigrants it's been serving have been from Laos, China, North Korea, and Vietnam. People we talked to said that the center provides services such as English language services, citizenship classes, psychological and social counseling for people who are trying to understand a new country and a new culture. This community is known, I should tell you, Ann, as a company town, because this is where IBM was founded. And people say, as a result, people here try to help each other. They're wrapping their arms tonight around the victims and the survivors tonight. And
all right, NBC's Rahima Ellis, thank you so much for that report. Well, NBC's Justice Department correspondent Pete Williams now joins us from Washington. Pete, what more do we know about this alleged gunman?
Not a lot tonight. Police say he was known to the people at the center and that he borrowed a car from a family member today to drive there, saying that he needed to take classes at the center. It is that car, police say, that was used to block the rear doors to the building. He's 41. He was from nearby Johnson City, where officials say he does have relatives, and police have been told that he is a U.S. citizen and has lived in the U.S. for nearly 30 years. But they've so far found no incident in his recent past that would have touched something like this off, Ann.
All right, Pete Williams tonight. Pete, thanks for your report on this. Now we're going to turn to today's economics numbers, which are offering a grim jobs report. It says that the unemployment rate jumped nearly half a percentage point to 8.5% in March. 663,000 more people lost their jobs. And there is more bad news. The unemployment picture for January was actually much worse than the government first thought. The original report was 655,000 job cuts. The actual number turns out to be 741,000 jobs lost. NBC's Trish Regan has the story behind the numbers.
An already tough job market is growing even tougher. 5.1 million jobs lost since the start of the recession in December 2007. Nearly every sector lost jobs in March. Even the government cut 5,000 positions.
The companies were over-optimistic, and now they've thrown in the towel, and now they are laying off people at a faster rate.
And it's not just the companies in trouble that are reducing payroll.
We're seeing plenty of employers that are making workforce reductions for opportunistic reasons.
Critics cite employers like IBM. Despite the company's profitability, IBM is reportedly laying off 5,000 U.S. workers while expanding overseas. U.S. workers now account for roughly 29% of Big Blue's workforce, down from 35% in 2006. Rick Clark spent 11 years at IBM's East Fishkill, New York office. He was shocked to be let go just 1 week after the company announced strong earnings.
It was almost like I was dreaming. It was like, I must be dreaming. I can't be laid off. And the carrots, too?
IBM did offer Clark the opportunity to apply for a job overseas, but at a local wage.
If I were to go to India, I would only make about a quarter or a fifth of what I'm making now.
Instead, Rick, a civil engineer, hopes to benefit from stimulus dollars spent on new infrastructure projects.
There are a number of firms that have bids on projects, and if they get the work, they're understaffed. They'll need people.
For Clark, the sooner, the better. Trish Regan, CNBC, New York.
On Wall Street, the stock market shrugged off today's gloomy job numbers. The Dow finished the day up more than 39 points, closing above the 8,000 level for the first time since early February. The Dow was up 21% in the past 4 weeks alone. London's G20 summit is over, but President Obama's overseas trip continues. It's his first as president, and he has a busy agenda. Tonight he's in Strasbourg, France, for a NATO summit, and traveling with the president is our chief White House correspondent, Chuck Todd, who joins us now from Strasbourg with the latest. Chuck, good evening.
Well, good evening, Ann. One summit down, 2 more to go. The president this morning woke up in London. He's overnighting here in France. In between, he stopped in Germany to pick up that third stamp on his passport just today, and all the while playing salesman-in-chief at this 60th anniversary celebration of NATO.
Today, President Obama took on old Europe, the day divided between France and Germany. Hello, how are you? Trying to convince old allies that an old alliance like NATO has a new mission. And French President Nicolas Sarkozy, for one, was quick to get the message.
It feels very good to work with a U.S. president who wants to change the world.
A compliment President Obama returned.
He's courageous on so many fronts, it's hard to keep up.
But the French president found it hard to compete on the reception line when a French woman asked Mr. Obama for a kiss instead. But Mr. Sarkozy's famous wife was a bit more reserved, as was the reception in Germany and his meeting with Chancellor Angela Merkel.
Bon après-midi. And guten Tag.
But the highlight of the day may have been an unprecedented campaign-style town hall meeting where the president addressed the elephant in the room when it comes to transatlantic diplomacy.
There have been times where America's shown arrogance and been dismissive. even derisive. But in Europe, there is an anti-Americanism that is at once casual but can also be insidious.
The purpose of the event wasn't just about winning goodwill.
So I understand that there's doubt about this war in Europe. There's doubt at times even in the United States. But know this, the United States of America did not choose to fight a war in Afghanistan.
The challenge for the president is to convince NATO allies that this isn't just America's war.
It is important for Europe to understand that even though I'm now president and George Bush is no longer president, Al-Qaeda is still a threat.
Tomorrow, he hopes to get a substantial NATO troop commitment for the war.
Now the president's going to come back to France in almost exactly 2 months as he accepted an invitation from French President Nicolas Sarkozy to attend the 65th anniversary of D-Day at Normandy Beach. Ann?
All right, Chuck Todd tonight. Chuck, thanks. One major concern for the leaders meeting in Europe has been a nation thousands of miles away, North Korea. That country's nuclear program and its insistence on carrying out a controversial missile test have made it a problem that defies solution. More on this tonight from our man at the Pentagon, Jim Miklaszewski. Jim, good evening.
Good evening, Ann. U.S. officials say tonight that North Korean missile is all gassed up and ready to launch any time now. Satellite photos show the Taepodong missile sitting on the launch pad on North Korea's coast. Now, the North Koreans say that this three-stage missile will be used to put a satellite into orbit. But U.S. officials are claiming that this launch is actually the test of a long-range ballistic missile that could ultimately reach the United States with a nuclear weapon. President Obama today called this potential launch provocative, and U.S. officials are considering and threatening additional UN sanctions. But U.S. officials admit there may be no stopping the Koreans at this point, and as of tonight, all systems appear ready to go. And
all right, Jim Miklaszewski tonight. Jim, thanks. When Nightly News continues on this Friday evening, more than 4 decades after Martin Luther King Jr.'s assassination, there are newly revealed photos of that tragic night. And later, the world spotlight on the 2 first ladies who combined substance and style.
Mom was diagnosed with moderate Alzheimer's. It was tough news to hear. Everything changed. I didn't know what to do. Right about then, our doctor mentioned the Exelon patch. He said it releases medicine continuously for 24 hours. He said it could help with her cognition, which includes things like memory, reasoning, communicating, and understanding.
The most common side effects of Exelon patch are nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea. The likelihood and severity of these side effects may increase as the dose increases. Patients may experience loss of appetite or weight. Patients who weigh less than 110 pounds may experience more side effects. People at risk for stomach ulcers or who take certain other medicine should talk to their doctor because serious stomach problems such as bleeding may worsen.
Mom's diagnosis was hard to hear, but there's something I can do.
Ask your doctor about the Exelon patch. Visit exelonpatch.com to learn more.
Change your skin's look immediately with new Definity Color Recapture from Olay. Powerful anti-aging moisturizer that goes beyond wrinkles to fight age spots and discoloration meets the illuminating instant coverage of foundation. New from Olay.
What's that smell? Take control of trash odors with Glad Odor Shield. Special technology embedded in the whole bag neutralizes odors. Your kitchen stays fresh. Glad Odor Shield. What smell? Now available in lemon scent.
Rebuilding America's economy will take energy from all sources. And here's some good news. Increased production of domestic oil and natural gas will also create well-paying jobs, drive our 21st century economy, and generate more than $1 trillion for federal, state, and local budgets. Money for better schools, public safety, and community needs. Maybe that's why most people support putting more of America's oil and natural gas to work. For Americans. Log on to learn more.
Tonight, peace, love, and DNA evidence. Who Killed Mrs. Hartsong? A new Dateline tonight, 10/9 Central on NBC.
Monday, Elliot Spitzer live with Matt Lauer, New York's ex-governor, on his rise to power and fall from grace. A Today exclusive on NBC.
Iowa today became the first state in the Midwest to legalize same-sex marriage. The state Supreme Court ruled unanimously that a 1998 law limiting marriage to a man and a woman is unconstitutional. The court said same-sex marriages can start taking place in 21 days. 41 years ago tomorrow night, a single rifle shot ended the life of Martin Luther King Jr. The assassination was one of the most shattering and unforgettable events of our time. So you might think that any photographs taken on that awful night would have surfaced long ago. Not so. Here's NBC's Mark Potter.
For 41 years, this was the image from Martin Luther King's assassination. But there were more photos from Memphis that day from a different photographer whose work only now has come to light.
It's a sad time in the country.
Life magazine's Henry Groskinski was on assignment in Selma when word came that King had been shot. He headed for the Lorraine Motel and began taking these aftermath pictures.
It was like a church. Everybody was very quiet, and it was just awful.
At the hotel in Dr. King's room, he found a somber gathering of civil rights leaders.
It was like going to somebody's wake, but I didn't want to interrupt them because they were discussing, I guess, what they were going to do.
There, he saw something he would never forget, King's briefcase, just the way he left it before he was killed.
I thought, as I said, this is the end of this great man. He's not going to come back anymore. It's almost like a monument to him.
On the hotel balcony, he found minister and civil rights activist Will Campbell alone in his grief.
He was out there in this state of almost hypnosis. He was just feeling so bad and remorseful about what had happened here and thinking, what a terrible thing that's taken place in America.
Groskinski would also turn his lens to a building across the street where he believed this open window is from where the assassin fired his shot.
It's a witness to history, that's what it is.
A Life magazine spokesman says it's not clear why these pictures weren't published until now on Life.com. But today, they too are part of history. Mark Potter, NBC News, Miami.
And you can see more of these historic pictures and hear more from the photographer who took them by going to our website, which is nightly.msnbc.com. When Nightly News continues in just a moment, two captivating first ladies together for the first time.
With just a few adjustments, the plan we worked on for your retirement makes sense. Just stay on track.
What is...
That's the guidance you get from Fidelity.
Thanks.
Stay on the line!
Whatever your destination, Fidelity has the people, guidance, and investments to help you find your way. Fidelity Investments. Turn here.
For many with arthritis pain, not treating is not an option. All prescription NSAID pain relievers like Celebrex, ibuprofen, and naproxen help treat arthritis pain and have some of the same warnings. But since individual results may vary, having options is important. Prescription Celebrex has been the option for millions of patients for 10 straight years. Just one 200-milligram Celebrex can provide dependable 24-hour relief for many with arthritis pain, stiffness, and inflammation. Based on the available data, the FDA stated that for certain patients, Celebrex's benefits outweigh the risks. If you're worried about stomach upset, you should know. In clinical studies, a lower percentage of patients taking Celebrex reported stomach discomfort versus prescription ibuprofen and naproxen. And if you are taking low-dose aspirin for your heart and need an NSAID pain reliever, Celebrex can be used because it doesn't interfere with the effects of low-dose aspirin. But when it comes to relieving your arthritis pain, you and your doctor need to balance the benefits with the risks. The FDA requires all prescription NSAIDs, including Celebrex, ibuprofen, naproxen, and meloxicam, to have the same cardiovascular warning. They all may increase the chance of heart attack or stroke, which can lead to death. This chance increases if you have heart disease or risk factors for it, such as high blood pressure or when NSAIDs are taken for long periods. All prescription NSAIDs, including Celebrex, also increase the chance of serious skin reactions or stomach and intestine problems, such as bleeding and ulcers, which can occur without warning and may cause death. Patients also taking aspirin and the elderly are at increased risk for stomach bleeding and ulcers. Do not take Celebrex if you're allergic to aspirin or sulfonamides. Ask your doctor if you could benefit from Celebrex. Understand the risks, feel the benefits.
Sunday, an exclusive interview. The new CEO of General Motors on his plan to save the company. Only on Meet the Press.
Nightly news at nightly.msnbc.com.
We reported earlier in the broadcast on the serious issues being discussed at the NATO summit this weekend, but there is something else that's going on that's grabbed the world's attention. The first meeting between First Lady Michelle Obama and her French counterpart, Carlo Bruni. NBC Savannah Guthrie has our report.
Outside a palace in Strasbourg, France, the meeting of two international phenomena. Not the president, their wives. The much-anticipated first encounter between the world's most famous first ladies.
I think everybody's in love with those two first ladies. I think it's a little girl in us, who's coming back to look at the fairy tale.
Arriving at a NATO dinner tonight, both women were dressed in basic black, but in style and substance, they are distinctly different. Mrs. Bruni, a former model and singer,
You belong to me.
who grew up in an Italian castle and dated rock stars like Mick Jagger and Eric Clapton. Mrs. Obama is an Ivy League-trained lawyer from the south side of Chicago who fell in love with a community organizer.
That he took me out on a date, and his date was to go with him to a community meeting. I know. How romantic.
But for all their differences, these first ladies have one thing in common, a public here in France and in America that is endlessly fascinated with them. Not to mention the international press. Their meeting today analyzed down to every last move. Some tabloids are even talking up a rivalry.
Comment allez-vous, Carla?
When Bruni came to England a year ago for a state visit, England was besotted. But this week, it was Carla who, after Michelle took the town. But today, they were loyal to their lady in Paris.
Maybe ours is the most gorgeous one.
But in the long run, what may matter most is what they have in common.
They have strong personalities, very strong careers, and nobody pictures them as, wallflowers that would be humble behind the husbands.
Two women on the world stage, adding their own je ne sais quoi to the picture. Savannah Guthrie, NBC News, Strasbourg, France.
And we'll be back in just a moment with a woman who hit her stride by making a difference for others.
Getting ready to plant? Chances are your soil is like this. Compacted, drained of nutrients. It'll hold your plants, but it'll also hold them back. The solution? Miracle Grow garden soil. The perfect mix of rich organic ingredients and Miracle Grow plant food. Just mix it in and turn bad soil into great soil. Helps plants grow twice as big. Instead of holding them back, they'll leap ahead. Miracle Grow garden soil. Start right, finish big.
Looking to improve your digestive health? Try YoPlus from YoPlay. It contains fiber and has special cultures clinically proven to help regulate digestive health. Plus, it comes in delicious flavors like blackberry pomegranate. Make YoPlus your choice for digestive health.
Thermacare wants to know, where does it hurt?
My aching back.
Target the pain with Thermacare heat wraps. Thermacare is clinically proven to deliver real heat that penetrates deep to relax tight muscles all day. Try Thermacare heat wraps and wear it where it hurts.
This is a Centrum multivitamin, complete from A to zinc. This is Corowise, a natural ingredient that can lower cholesterol. Put them together, and you get Centrum Cardio, the first and only complete multivitamin that can lower cholesterol. Centrum Cardio.
How many washes did it take New Tear Bright Clean to get this from dingy to bright?
10.
It's
7.
100. No. New Tear Bright Clean. Surprisingly bright in just one wash.
I don't always let my bladder problems or the worry my pipes might leak compromise what I like to do, like hunting for bargains, not always bathrooms. I take care with Vesicare.
Once daily Vesicare can help control your bladder muscle and is proven to reduce frequent sudden urges and leaks day and night. If you have certain stomach or glaucoma problems or trouble emptying your bladder, do not take Vesicare. Tell your doctor right away if you have a serious allergic reaction, severe abdominal pain, or become constipated for 3 or more days. Vesicare may cause blurred vision, so take care while driving or doing unsafe tasks. Common side effects are dry mouth, constipation, and indigestion.
You deserve better than to always be compromised by urges and leaks. Ask your doctor today about taking care with Vesicare.
This is a KGW News Channel 8 update.
Next, how police say DNA brought down a busy car thief. The one-car model the suspect went after and stalled again. Saturday markets moved to a new site. What's behind the delay now?
And a sunny and warm forecast coming up for the weekend. Details after Nightly News.
NBC. Making a difference. Brought to you by Vesicare.
Finally tonight, it's been a busy week, but we've followed the news over the past few days. We've also been following your emails and keeping an eye out for some of the good things that people are doing for each other during these tough economic times. Which brings us to this. What kind of a person gives up a dream job to help the homeless? You might be surprised. NBC's Janet Shamley introduces us in our Friday Making a Difference report.
She was a flash of light in the pre-dawn darkness. Her daily run through Philadelphia's grittiest neighborhoods took her right past a shelter where troubled men without homes or hope would wave to her and smile.
I just stopped and looked behind me, and I thought, what am I doing? Wow. I'm running by these guys for a reason. I really felt that way.
Due to start her dream job in communications the next day, Ann Mala made a life-changing decision, and not just for herself.
It's like I found my purpose, like why I'm here. And you can't pick those moments. They just happen.
So she ditched the job and started what some called crazy.
So, you guys, we'll get going?
A running club for the homeless.
Nice touch today,
Hoping that runner's high, that sense of accomplishment, would help guys like James Singletary.
I've been at the lowest of any low.
A drug addict who lost his family, lost everything. Until he found Ann's group, Back on My Feet. Now a program about more than just running. It's job training and life skills in almost a dozen Philadelphia shelters with 100 success stories, like James. Drug-free 9 months, James has a job and a life.
It's helped me to identify who I am. I'm James. Not James the drug addict, not James the mess up, but James the new person. James the person that's willing to do anything to keep his life going right.
Right past the finish line of whatever he starts. Thanks to a woman helping others run from trouble.
When you watch somebody realize the potential inside of them, there's nothing better than that.
Janet Shamley and NBC News, Philadelphia.
What a heart. And we encourage you to keep sending us your stories about people who are making a difference. You can go to our website at nightly.msnbc.com. And that is our broadcast for this Friday evening. Brian Williams is back here on Monday. I'm Ann Curry. And for all of us here at NBC News, thank you and good night.
School plot. 4 students in custody for plotting to kill classmates and teachers at 2 Marion County schools.
They were intent on committing some crimes out there.
What tipped off investigators? DNA first. For the first time, police used genetic fingerprinting to put a suspected car thief out of business.
I honestly don't have a lot of sympathy for anybody that was using drugs or made bad decisions based off doing drugs.
How many cars the suspects accused of stealing in one night? Deep cuts. Prisoners set free, school days cut, trooper positions eliminated, the drastic cutbacks lawmakers are pushing at the state capitol.
From the KGW HD studios, where the news comes first, News Channel 8 at 6 starts now.
Good evening, I'm Wayne Haverly.
And I'm Laurel Porter. Tracy and Joe are off tonight. First at 6, a deadly plot aimed at students and staff at 2 small-town schools is stopped. And the suspects, listen to this, 13 and 14-year-olds now held in detention. The plot centered on Cascade Middle and High Schools in Turner, just east of Salem. News Channel 8's Kylie Bush is there live now. Kyle?
And Laurel, the sheriff warns this was more than just idle chatter. This was a serious threat. The young suspects face felony charges of a conspiracy to commit aggravated murder. A lone officer stood guard after police uncovered plans for a violent rampage at Cascade Middle and High School.
Safe Corporation, helping make Oregon a safer place to work for all Oregonians. Online at safe.com.
Willamette University, MBA, in Salem and Portland, helping to empower managers and developing executives, now accepting applications online. The Collins Foundation. The Collins Foundation is dedicated to improving the quality of life in Oregon.